Hi everybody, in this video we are going to discuss about the vaccination and immunization. Vaccination and immunization. In simple, if we are talking about vaccination, it means that the process of taking in, a vaccine, that is heat killed microbe into our body, is called as vaccination. Immunization means the process in which the body is stimulating the immune system to produce the antibodies against the pathogen is called as immunization. So here vaccination means the act of taking in. Immunization means it is the body producing the antibodies against that pathogen. Now we will see it in very clear and try to understand this. Here our immune system, the main principle of the immune system is vaccination and immunization is the main principle of vaccination and immunization is it is based on the property of memory of the immune system. Memory of the immune system, which means it is based upon the memory cells of the immune system. A very important point. Vaccination and immunization. The main principle of vaccination and immunization is based on the property of memory of the immune system. We already studied that once our body encounters with a pathogen, our body will be producing the antibodies, they fight with that pathogen and destroy it. Later, some of these cells, B cells which fought with the microorganism will turn up as memory cells. And second encounter, when they come across the same pathogen, they will be fighting against that particular pathogen. So here, the same concept we are applying in vaccination and immunization. It is the main principle is based upon what? Memory of the immune system. Memory of the immune system. So here, now in vaccination, what is vaccination? In vaccination, here we should remember that antigenic proteins. Antigenic proteins means what? The of pathogen we are saying means what? If this is a pathogen, a microbe will be releasing the proteins which are pathogenic, which can cause the damage. So here this we can call it as what? The microbe, or otherwise we are calling it as pathogen. It is releasing what? The proteins. The proteins. These proteins may destroy and cause harm to the body. Am I clear? So proteins can cause the destruction of our body cells and cause the disease. So here what we are saying is in vaccination they administer or they inoculate antigen proteins of the pathogen or inactivated or weakened pathogen introduced into the body. Which means, see here, if this is let us say that this is one test tube. In the test tube we will be keeping a microbe or let us say pathogen. We are keeping a pathogen now. This pathogen is heat killed. This pathogen is heat killed. So when it is heat killed, it cannot cause the disease. Means you are making the microorganism weak, where it is not so strong to cause the disease. So either it is a pathogen, inactivated or weakened pathogen, or the proteins, antigenic proteins. We are preparing them. After preparing, at a particular dose or certain dose will be given into our body. That we are calling it as what? Vaccination. So here we have to remember, in the process of vaccination, we are directly taking the disease causing microorganism into our body. We are directly taking the disease causing microorganism into our body. But it is inactivated or weakened. Inactivated or weakened, which it cannot cause the disease. It cannot cause the disease, but it can stimulate our immune system to produce antibodies against that particular disease causing pathogen. So here, now when this, in the process of vaccination, when they are introducing the pathogen in the form of protein or inactivated or weakened, microbe into the body, immediately our body immune system, our body immune system will be stimulated by this antigen, by the antigen. So when the immune system is stimulated by this particular antigen, in our body, what will be produced? antibodies will be produced. Antibodies are produced in our body now. So we already studied in the previous videos that always antibodies are produced only in the presence of what? Antigen. Please remember this. Antibodies are produced always in the presence of antigen, which means antigen can only stimulate the antibodies. If there is no antigen, no production of antibodies. So what we are doing here, through the process of vaccination, we are introducing the antigen, antigen, which is weakened or inactivated or in the form of a protein into the body. But our body immune system is stimulated by that particular antigen, immediately produces what? Antibodies. Now, these antibodies are specific against that particular antigen, and these antibodies can recognize that particular antigen in the future, in the later part of our life. Now, these antibodies will be circulating in our body, and during actual infection, unexpected actual infection, when a same microbe which is being introduced in the form of vaccine, enters into our body, that we are calling it as what? During actual infection, when this microbe, same thing, when it is entering into our body, immediately the antibodies which are already present, introduced, or stimulated by the inactivated or weakened antigen that is introduced by a process called as what? Vaccination are there. So what they will do now, they can recognize that particular pathogen, during the actual infection, and these antibodies will destroy that particular antigen which is introduced, and which we are calling as, these antibodies neutralize the pathogenic agents. These antibodies will neutralize the pathogenic agents, which means when our body is coming across that particular pathogen in our daily life, we are not caused with the disease. Why? Because we already made or prepared our body to encounter that particular disease causing microorganism by taking the antigen in inactivated form where it cannot cause the disease, so that our body stimulates the antibodies against that particular pathogen. So we have those antibodies against that pathogen. So during the unexpectedly, when the disease is caused, we are not damaged, or we are not falling sick, or we are not affected with the disease. How? It's because we are already having what? Antibodies well in advance prepared against that particular antigen, during the actual infection. So this is in the process of what? Vaccination. In the process of vaccination. And we have to remember one more point. We have to make note of one more point, that is, vaccines also generate memory B and T cells. Memory B and T cells. So when we are taking a vaccine means what? Heat killed or attenuated, we say, or weakened pathogen introduced into the body, which cannot cause the disease, but it can stimulate our immune system to produce the antibodies. Is it clear? So now what happened? Apart from that, now vaccine also generate memory B and T cells. Vaccines also, that whatever is introduced as vaccine, it can generate what? Memory B cells and T cells to recognize the pathogen on its second encounter. It is stimulating the B cells and T cells. So when a pathogen is introduced, weakened pathogen, it is stimulating what? B cells and T cells, so that these B cells and T cells are producing or helping in producing the antibodies, so that they can encounter the disease causing pathogen when it enters into the body for the second time by producing more number of antibodies. Massive production of antibodies will be there. Massive production means what? More number of antibodies are produced than the pathogen, than the number of the same pathogen. So more number of antibodies at a time, they go and destroy that particular pathogen which is in less in number, same time. So that's what happens here. So we have to remember that vaccines also generate memory B and T cells. B and T cells to encounter the disease causing pathogen during the second time. And if a person, okay, if there is anyone who is infected with a deadly microbes, like for example, if you are taking the example of a deadly microbe, okay, disease causing organism called as Clostridium tetani, okay, Clostridium tetani is a bacteria which causes a disease called as tetanus, okay, which is causing a disease called as tetanus, okay. Tetanus is a very dangerous disease, okay, tetanus is a very dangerous disease. Then for which we cannot wait or introduce okay, the heat killed or weakened or inactivated pathogen into the body and prepare the body to produce what the antibodies. No, but for this disease we have to give preformed, okay, we have to give preformed antibodies, okay, please remember this, we have to give preformed antibodies, which means these antibodies are prepared in the other organism, in another animal. They will be preparing the antibodies against the disease called as tetanus. They will not introduce this heat-killed or attenuated, okay, microbe which is causing the disease into our body. No, because it is a deadly microbe. So that's why what they will do, they will prepare the antibodies against this disease in some other animal, and collect those antibodies and use these antibodies to treat this particular disease, which means they will introduce these antibodies into the body, okay. So here this is what is important here. So what we call this okay, in the same way there is also another, okay, thing, another point we have to keep in mind, that is during snake bite, okay, snake bite, okay, during the snake bite, okay, the venom, okay, the poison of the snake consists of toxin, we say, okay, it consists of toxin. So toxin means it is nothing but poison, or otherwise we are calling it as what? Venom, okay, venom. So immediately we have to introduce, okay, the antibodies which will destroy this toxin. So here we will be calling that antibodies as what? Antitoxin. Okay, we are calling it as antitoxin. Antitoxin means what? Already prepared antibodies. Okay, already prepared antibodies. Antitoxin is nothing but what? Already prepared antibodies. Okay, already prepared antibodies will be given to that particular individual who has okay, met with a snake bite, okay, who has met with a snake bite. They will be introducing this, okay, antitoxin consisting of what? Antibodies, okay, consisting of antibodies. So here what we have to remember, in the first part we said that in vaccination and immunization we said that we are introducing the heat kill or weakened pathogen into the body, and this pathogen after entering into the body, it stimulates our immune system, then immune system is producing the antibodies, but not in all the cases, because there are deadly microbes and deadly situations where, like when there is a snake bite, there are chances that the person may die very fast. So that's why immediate requirement of these antibodies are needed. So they will be introducing the antibodies which are already prepared, okay, which are already prepared outside the body of that particular individual, and immediately to treat the tetanus they will be introducing the antibodies. And antitoxin, that is nothing but prepared, okay, preformed antibodies will be given during the snake bite also. So whenever we are giving antibodies which are prepared, okay, which are prepared outside the body against a particular disease, we should remember that it will be called as passive immunity, okay, we call it as passive immunity, okay, passive immunity. Please remember this word, passive immunity, okay, passed on from some other, okay, animal, okay, that we are calling as passive immunity. But if it is prepared in our own body, when an antigen is introduced, our body is producing the antibodies, that we call it as what? Active immunity, okay, we are calling it as active immunity, okay, active immunization, okay, active immunization. And this is also the same, okay, this is also the same, passive immunization, okay, passive immunization, active immunization. So here we came across two words, when in our body, when antibodies are produced, okay, by taking of heat kill or weakened microorganism, okay, we are calling it as active immunization. Simple, let us remember, in our body only antibodies are produced. Here, passive immunization means what? When we are directly taking antibodies against a particular disease causing microbe or the toxin, we are calling it as passive immunization. We are calling it as passive immunization. So these are some points we have to remember when we are talking about vaccination and immunization. Thank you so much.